Hi everyone, I'm here today to talk about a specific book, this one. This is Hong Kong Dangerous. The video is better when the book cover's up, isn't it? It's okay, you don't have to lie, I can take it. But this is as the subtitle suggests, the prequel novella to my series. And I'm going to talk about each book in its own video, so it'll be a series about my series, or a meta-series if you prefer. And we're going to start at the beginning with the prequel. Now, this leads directly into The Reluctant Detective, which you can see over my left shoulder there, and the rest of the series. But most closely, the events of this book lead into book one in the main series, which is The Reluctant Detective. And in that book, we meet C.T. Ferguson on his first case. But in Hong Kong Dangerous, we learn what sets him on the path to becoming a PI. Now, in The Reluctant Detective, C.T. alludes to his time in Hong Kong, his arrest, his 19 days as a guest of the Chinese penal system, but he doesn't really go into a lot of details. We can infer, certainly, that it was unpleasant, but he doesn't specify a lot of stuff. This book has those details. Many readers reached out to me and asked what happened to him over there. Was he tortured? What went on? This book answers all those questions, introduces a couple new characters, a couple of jailers, in fact, over there. So if you were wondering what happened to him in China, this book does answer those questions. It did replace earlier novellas I used as giveaways to entice new readers. Those were The Confessional, Land of the Brave, and Red City Blues. They're now all for sale on Amazon. But Hong Kong Dangerous is exclusive to subscribers, and I think there's value in having something that is exclusive. It's going to remain that way unless I write something that replaces it. I do like having the exclusive thing. Another little tidbit, I've never been to Hong Kong or any other part of China for that matter. Google Maps for the win, definitely. I used both the regular map view and the street level view so that I knew where things were, what buildings look like. I don't think architectural description is one of my strong suits, but I did want to know what the buildings looked like and what the streets looked like, so I could put that in the book to add that level of realism. This was written last year in 2018. It happens in 2017 before the events of book one, so the current political situation in Hong Kong is not referenced because that wasn't happening at the time. This book does show C.T. working against the police in aid of political dissidents, which he alludes to in The Reluctant Detective. He also makes a reference in his interview with Jessica, the reporter, about breaking into a bank with his hacker friends. That's also detailed in here when the door gets kicked in at the end and they all get arrested. We do meet some of the hacker friends in this book, and it's possible they could recur in something in the future. The series is open-ended, and I do have plots for the next several books, but they could always reappear at some point. So CT's flashbacks in The Reluctant Detective don't mention specific events or people because Hong Kong Dangerous wasn't written at that time. Like the jailer characters in particular are not referenced in there. Like when he first meets Vinny's Asian henchman, he has a moment of PTSD. But it's a little vague because this book, Hong Kong Dangerous, didn't exist then. And I don't want to go back and change it now because the audiobook for The Reluctant Detective is already done, and there is value in having the ebook, well, and the paperback, but having the book and the audiobook line up. I don't want to risk breaking that. So it's a little vague maybe in those respects, but that's just a function of when the books were written. I don't want to spoil the ending of this book for you, but obviously, C.T. leaves Hong Kong, gets back to Baltimore. That's where The Reluctant Detective opens. But the ending otherwise, despite him leaving, is a bit of a downer. And it's his failure, what he perceives as his failure in something, that leads him to go down the path of a private investigator. And that's where we pick up in book one. And that sense of failure is kind of what motivates him. And like I said earlier, Hong Kong Dangerous is free as an ebook for subscribers. I will leave a link down below in the description. In the next video in this series, we will talk about The Reluctant Detective. I will actually have a physical book to hold up, not a piece of cardstock, because that does exist in paperback. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.